Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the blank and no duplicates at a balanced rack. Do I have a bingo? P and Y, slightly non-bingo-y. But there must be a possibility. Nothing has jumped to mind. I'm going to have a quick squiz through the alphabet and see if something comes to mind. Nothing so far. And I do want to play reasonably quickly in case opponent disappears. Episomi I don't think is right. Myopes maybe. Yes, it is. Fantastic. And not a bad pick. I wouldn't normally play the opening move as fast in a tournament, but sometimes if you don't play for a minute or two, opponent gets fed up and resigns, which you don't want to happen when you're on the brink of bingoing. Anyway, wow, unbelievable. I have adenizes and anodizes. Is there any difference between them? No, I don't think so. I am going with this. And that was 122 points. So, is out fixed good? And if it is, does it play? Well, yes, row G, but I think this is a bingo too far. Yep, invalid. So, opponent plays wit. Where can I get value from the X? Wow, look at this beautiful X spot. And I can get rid of the U as well with zoo and ox. I could also play outfix. That's 60. And zoo outfix may not be good, but I think it is. Zoo and ox, 52. So this is a better play. Is there an even better one? No, I don't think so. Oh, outfix not good. Fortunately, I have this as a backup. But is this best? I don't have anything which goes after wit, so I don't think I have a 5-letter play ending in X. Yeah, I am going with this. And I have a decent lead, 190 points. Can I hang on? So, no bingo here, but a good scoring tile in the F. Do I have a play in column 8? Zoo doesn't take anything after it. I have fetid on my rack. Still one blank to come. Where does that play? Well, it plays under the E of myopes. And opponents resigned. Okay, that's a bit of a shame. So, final score, 67 to opponent, 254 to me, a winning margin of 189 points, so probably not quite that many. 187 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. And then we'll crank up another. So it was me to go first, and there were a ton of bingos. Myopes scores the most because it gets the Y doubled, but also isotype Pioneers, and that's all the ones that are showing. Opponent plays J key. I have adenizes for 122. Opponent plays wit, and now zoo for 52 looks best. And this is the point where opponent quits, and they could have played LU V8 down from the E. Tricky one to see. Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a very non-bingo-y looking rack, but I do have Vezir, which plays off 5 tiles and gets rid of the V and the Z. FV, a particularly troublesome combo, but I do have the letters for 5 and 5er. So, is opponent going to play or change? And I've also got fries on my rack. So, opponent plays Biota, nowhere super hot for the Z. Biota takes an S, I've got one. So, I can play Vizier down here. Well, why do that when you can play Vizier and retain the E Vizier for 34, and that also set up a spot for the F. So, a more promising rack in terms of bingo-iness. I'm not seeing a 7. Do I have anything with a T? No. I've got the ED and DE ending and beginning. What about the R? No, so I may not have a bingo here. I have oof in column 6 alongside Vizier. And I'm not sure I considered the A, but I'm not seeing anything there. There may not be any 8s here, but this is such a balanced rack. I feel that there could be. Focalised possibly through LI. Oh wow, fantastic bingo by opponent, 72 points. I trail. Do any of these floaters give me a bingo? So I'm looking at the H. CH goes well together, but I'm not seeing anything. I don't think fiascoed is good. R. No. P. No. L. No, I'm minded to play oof for 38 points, which is pretty decent, and this rack cleave is good. So even if I've overlooked a bingo, it won't be super expensive. Just pausing because there is column 8. But I don't think I've got something better than oof. Well, not a great pick at first blush, drawing 2 vowels. But there could be a bingo here, certainly quite a few floaters to consider. So anything with the T, I've got the IEST ending. No. Wow, I thought that was another bingo coming down, but it's not, just 16 points. Opponent takes out a number of floaters, or certainly obstructs them. Do I have anything with the H? No. I, no. P. I think Epicedier doesn't take an S. Well, I don't have 2 I's anyway, so let me ignore that thought. What about the L? No, not seeing anything. Gosh, I hope I'm not missing a bingo here. Now, how about column 4? A goes next to Zo. D goes next to... Oh, well, let me see where this goes. I could put a D next to IF, but then I don't reach the double word square. But I can reach it by doing this for 36 points. And C does have some synergy with this H. And this isn't a super great board for S's. However, if I'm going to burn the S, what about sticking it on the end of Vizier? And do I really not have a 7 here? There must be a lot of 8s with this rack, I feel. But none has come to mind with the floaters on this board. No. Now, what about IF? I've got the if I's ending. That would leave DECA. No, acidifies not good. So I could do this for 40 points. Is that better than based? No, it's not. This provides a lot of scoring potential for opponent. And this doesn't, and preserves a consonant, so this is better even though it's 4 points less. Just coming back to this H. No, not seeing anything there. Should I play in column 8? No, I think I go for the points. Based for 36. Well, not bad. It's fairly balanced. But V is a non-bingo-y tile, so I'm not optimistic of bingoing. Wow, we're dead level on score. So how am I going to get rid of the V? Well, I have vid on my rack, vild and vildy. Only an E goes to the left of the H. So I don't have anything great down there. The C is quite a bingo-y tile, so I'm not in a hurry to get rid of that, but I will do so if I can use it well for score. Not many tiles go to the left of ER, so that limits the ladder prospects for the bottom left of the board. Just wondering if I can reach the double word square from the H, and I haven't seen a way of doing that. Very few two-letter words with C and V, just the one in fact, CH. So that's going to hamper my ability to make parallel plays. I'm looking in column 6 to see if I can get my V or C tripled. Wow. Oh, only 15 points. Okay, the move didn't get doubled. I don't have a vowel for going in front of G. That would be A or U. I don't have anything which goes in front of the Y. So what I was thinking about is Vildi here, and this becomes an even more attractive proposition because it really restricts opponents' ability to play in row A should they have an A or a U. I don't think violed is good. And I am rather dependent on drawing vowels, but I am, well, what about doing violed instead? Much nicer rack leave. Still has some inhibitory impact, although it doesn't prevent a big tile going on this double letter square. It is opening a new lane, but I trail, and definitely a much better rack leave. I am going with this. So, where is a P when you need one for kneecaps? Not in the right spots. So, I have cake. Does this rack make anything? Jackines from a J. Let me consider the available floaters. So R. No, not seeing anything there. Y. No. P. Well, already considered. L. No. A. No. Just 27 for opponent, which Vildi would not have allowed, but 27 points is not very many. So my K can go in front of the Y. So I could play Ken. 30 points, but Kai takes an E and a U. So I could be giving a lot back, but decent rack leave and a decent 7-letter lane in column 2. 13 minutes on my clock. Have I abandoned the search for a bingo? Oof takes an S. So what about this rack plus ER? No, not seeing anything. My K can go above the I. So I could play eek, keeping cans. What about doing this? This is 39 points. So, yeah, I think it's worth playing the A for an extra 9 points. I am going with this. Wow. Well, that's the risk in playing that extra vowel. I've now got a very unbalanced rack. I do have a lead, but it's only 15 points. I don't have a vowel for going on the end of KY. And if opponent plays... Oh, wow, fantastic bingo by opponent. All these beautiful floaters, and my rack is a million miles away from a bingo, so I could be in trouble here. Opponent could be about to have back-to-back bingos. This is going to be a difficult rack to sort out in one. So, what am I going to do? Cond is good, but nowhere for it. Should I change? Still both blanks to come with only 35 tiles. Should I change? Well, what do I have through this E? Surely something. Well, I'm not seeing anything. I guess it's very difficult to start a word with two consonants. So the best I can see is doin. Only 10 points and an awful rack leave. It does a good job in taking out lanes, but I'm not sure I want to do that given that I trail. I am going to change. This is too awful. Still 3 ends to come. Wow. Okay, well, given that there are 2 blanks, I'm going to change as many as possible. Ordinarily, I might consider retaining an N. So I dodged the blanks. Has opponent got one of them? Now, this is a balanced rack, no duplicates, but I think B, M, Y and U scupper the bingo prospects. Yum berry is good. So, how to sort the rack out? I could play MY and AY. That's quite nice. My U can go under KY, and opponent has, by playing Joe, has stopped some of the scoring potential from this spot. I certainly want to do something about Y and U. Joey is good, but I can't get rid of the U. And I also need to tackle the number of high-scoring tiles I've got. So, this is what I'm thinking of. Buy for 28. Quite a decent 5-letter set. I'm not going to get into any trouble with this. But is this the play? I think so. It's a decent score. It's nearly 30 points. Yeah, I'm going with this. So I draw another U. I don't think Uridium takes an S. And there is, in any event, no available floating I. One downside of playing by is that I was only turning over 2 tiles with these blanks unseen. And opponent has one of them, 128 points, getting the Q doubled and the word tripled. Well, hats off to opponent, an excellent play. And I'm now 170 points down. So, Umu is good. Is there anywhere for that? That would, well, there is. It's not going to score very much. However, it creates an S lane. I've got one. It totally sorts the rack out. I'm not seeing anywhere else for it. And there's still a lane in column 2, so the board is open. I'm in the territory of trying to minimise the losing spread now. I know column 11 is a hot double lane. My S can go between the T and the O, and I've got one, and it's the final S. I'm going with Umu. Wow, nice looking rack, but I'm not seeing a bingo which plays with beginning ST. Tetrodes is good, so I do have that beginning with the T, but I don't think it has an ST beginning anagram. Now, what if Tetrodes is blocked? Do I have a 7? I do. I have Oersted, OER Stead, which plays in column 2. Does that play anywhere else? And it has 2 anagrams, Roseted and Teredos. Neither plays in column 13, but Teredos plays in row K. So I'm certainly bingoing, which is good. That's part of the reason you sacrifice points with plays like Umu to increase your chances of bingoing. So it's always good when that pays off. Do I have anything beginning with A? No, I'm not seeing a bingo with these tiles plus an A. 32 for opponent. So I was thinking about Tetrodes. The row K spots have been taken. Tetrodes is definitely better than a column 2 play, which doesn't get doubled and opens access to triple word squares. What about opponent's new floaters? I think the only one worth considering is row O. Do I have a bingo ending in D? No, I don't. So I'm going with Tetrodes for 68, and I draw the blank. And I trail by 110, so I think I'm still too far behind. I would have Amphioxy from the A. Oh my word, I have Amphioxy. Will that stay available? Blank as an H. Gosh, opponent may be drawn to play in column 12 because of this E, or in column 10 because of this O next to this triple letter square. Will my bingo remain available? It would also play through an H. One's been played and one is to come. Might opponent place an H at square K1? No, but look at this. Amphioxy remains available. Amphioxy for 107. Bang! And that brings the deficit back to just 60 points, which is still too much, but what fun. So, remaining tiles, opponent has now got the 3 ends. No bingo there. Can I go out with ACEGN? I'm not seeing a 5 on my rack. N cage from an E. Well, there are no floating E's. Kanged, not good. Surely with this I, is acing good? ACEING. And if not, what about agenic? No, I think it's neither. I think it's in cage. In cage is certainly good. So I have an outplay in row O. What about an alternative? Well, it's tricky because I don't have a 5-letter play and there aren't many floaters. What is opponent going to do? Fey is good, so perhaps hint would be opponent's play, and that would take out my in-cage possibility. 7 minutes on my clock, 11 on opponent's. Well, I'm so glad I didn't throw my toys out of the pram after Eloquent, because then I would not have got my funky bingo down. So opponent does play hint, it does block in-cage. I'm pretty confident in-cage doesn't have an anagram. I think agenic and acing are words I've tried and got wrong when card boxing. So is opponent going out with non? Well, are they? They have noon and non in column 13. So yes, they are going out. I do have only one play, so I'm minded to play Cane for 24. And if opponent doesn't go out, I've got G and Sig and G, so I'm not stuck with this G. $10 for opponent to find their best out. And what have they done? Non next to Amphioxy. And the final score, 401 to me, 491 for opponent. A winning margin of 90 points, so well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. 2 bingos with the high scoring tiles. Now, it was my opponent to go first. They played Biota. Oh, double in column 5, Viziers. Ouch. Okay, I missed that and played, well, probably a synonym in Vizier. Opponent bingos. And no bingo here. I play Oof for 38, and I like that. I think this rack leave better than Codes, but fairly marginal. Opponent plays Outlier. Wow, L1. Seed Eyes and Viziers. Ah, yeah, I considered playing in that spot and preferred Based for 4 fewer points because it provided less scoring potential to opponent. Opponent plays Gary. C3. Coved through the O. Oh, the same spot I played Viold. Why isn't that down here? Ah, well, I gave up 8 points playing Viold instead of Coved. Part of the rationale behind playing Viold was to obstruct row A, but I don't think that was worth really very many points indeed, because it's not taking out this double letter square, and there aren't many bingos ending A or U. So I think Coved would have been a better play. 27 for opponent. And I play Aki for 39, and that looks fine. Great bingo by opponent. Egalites could also have played Elegiast. And this is the fateful moment. I trail by about 50. And I change. And I could have played Kind for 24, and that would have been better than changing. I find that about 50% of the time when I change, there would have been a better play, and I think this is one of those occasions. Wow, opponent with this isn't opponent's eloquent play, it's the move before. Opponent plays Joe. B3, very keeping B, M and U. So I play Buy, getting rid of one of those tiles. Yeah, and I prefer my play. I'm sacrificing 3 points, but I think Rooms is 3 points better than Bums. Yeah, the E is nice for this rack. Now, here we go. Absolutely magnificent play by opponent. 128 points, and not an easy one to spot, although it's a common word. elo isn't a common prefix. So that put the game pretty much beyond reach. Opponent 170 ahead. I play Umu for 9. Wow, Mewid c7. Yeah, I think Mewid would have been better. 19 more points and retaining only 1 U. Opponent plays Ranst, and I have a bingo of tetrodes, but h13. Oh, Roseted does play in column 13. Okay, I thought I'd considered that, but I didn't play that or see it and played tetrodes instead. Opponent plays Waff, could have played Hauf, and I have this Dream Rack with Amphioxy playable for 107. And there was an alternative bingo in the same spot of Apomixis, which I didn't see, so well done if you saw that. And now the bag is empty, we're in the end game. Opponent plays Hint. I do not have an out. I could have played Cage in this very spot where I played Cane, which would have been slightly better. And then opponent goes out with none for 20, and they would have got a little bit more if I'd played Cage. So what a game, absolutely magnificent fun. Always disappointing to some extent when you lose, but when you're involved in a game with words like eloquent and amphioxy on the board, you feel like it's been a pleasure to have participated in that game, whether you come out on top or not. So many congratulations to opponent on their victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.